Recently I got an Electro Cup on the Emblem of Severed Fates set, and not only that, it was actually a pretty good one on the EOSF set. So naturally the time has come for me to compare Electro Cups and ATK Cups on A, because this is often something where they're both actually the correct answer for someone like the Raiden Shogun, but either way, with three particular teams, let's see what the difference actually is. We're here with A and Masanori, and keep in mind, my ATK Cup is a bit better, but my Electro Cup has more crit damage, so we'll just see how we go with that, alright? There are of course three teams that I will be looking at. We have the Raiden Hyper team, we have Overload with Chevreuse, and of course we have Raiden Taser, which is basically the one involving Farina and Jean. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of things to get into. So let's start off with Raiden Hyper. And this is a team that of course involves just basically doing as much damage as we can with someone like A. We do need to cycle through everyone's ults. No blocks. 229,000 and however much damage it was, as I will write down. Of course, the initial slash is usually a really good indicator of just the overall power of, well, the build itself, as well as an indicator of how my normal attack slashes will be afterwards. And so now if we were to use the ATK Cup, well, let's have a look at the damage difference that we will have. We're gonna pop our ults, mainly to get resolve stacks for A. Don't block. Yep, there was a big attack. It may have been blocked by the timer though, so I don't really remember what it I can't really see what it actually said, but it did do quite a lot of damage. Of course, because I couldn't actually see the number myself of under the timer, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe I should be doing a bit more damage with the Electro Cup. That's what the general consensus is. But of course, when we actually do the comparison, then we'll know for sure. Anyway, we're going to now move on to a team that features a lot of attack buffs. A lot more attack buffs than Raiden Hyper, and that is, of course, Overload with Chevreuse. Now, keep in mind, there's three sources of attack buffs going on. We've got Chevreuse, we've got Sarah, and we also have the higher running TOM. So, quite a lot of attack buffs going on. Now, I need the Hire's ult for no reason, aside from resolve stacks. 243,000 damage. Of course, that was the damage that we were doing with the Electro Cups, and when we swap over to the ATK Cup, we do end up with something like this. Conventional wisdom suggests that if you use an ATK Cup in a team full of attack buffers, like so, you will end up doing less damage. And it does seem like we ended up doing a bit less damage. I think I was doing... Oh, I actually don't even remember what I was doing with the Electro Cup, because in recording this, it's actually been a bit of time since I did the Electro Cup hit. And so assuming that my memory and my vision was correct, it seems like using the Electro Cup was just, at the very least, a little bit better than using the ATK Cup that I have, before you start factoring in crit rate and all that jazz. But either way, because of that, you may be thinking, oh, okay, so Electro Cup is always better. But is that the case if we were to play Raiden Taser? Because this is a team involving Farina and Yalan, so there's a lot of damage percent coming in. Conventional wisdom with the ATK Cup on the Overload team should probably also work as conventional wisdom with a damage cup on a team that has this amount of damage percent. Especially because this is a team with no attack buffs. So that was 130k. With Farina's ability still active, and of course Yalan buffing A as well. Jean, of course, doing a big heal, which gave us all of the Farina Fanfare stacks that we could get. And so with a team like that, what if we were to swap over to an attack cup? We would end up, basically, with something like this. I don't know how Yolan managed to not take damage just then. That was kind of hilarious. 132,000 damage. So, at that point, we are now doing marginally more damage with the attack cup over the Electro Cup. So, we're not exactly breaking new ground. We're not exactly discovering something like completely different that we figured out before. But at least now we have a visual indication via these comparisons of basically the kind of damage difference that you get using an attack cup over using an Electro Cup in very, very similar circumstances. Of course, because we are dealing with things like resolve stacks, and in the case of Farina, fanfare stacks as well, obviously your experience and your numbers might be a little bit different depending on the kind of team that you're playing and how you're actually playing them. So just keep that in mind. This is not like a completely solid scientific kind of comparison. We weren't doing multiple comparisons, we were just doing one and moving on. Otherwise this video would be 5 hours long and we don't want to do that. Let me know about all of this in the comments below. I think also in the end, one thing I probably want everyone to take away from this is if you only have an Electro Cup on A, wow, congratulations, well done, you're good. If you only have an attack cup on A, speaking as someone who always only had an attack cup until right about this week, you're good. You don't need to like desperately farm for both. Unless your name is Katagari, in which case, yes you do. But no, no, you don't need to farm for both. Either is good. And their difference is rather minimal in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, that's the main takeaway, I think. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Genshin Impact action, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
見切りました。覚えたわよ。私のお家にいらっ。従軍内戦。イカズチに有限なるライト。チョック従軍立流。裁きのイカズチここより弱滅の時。見切りました。従軍立流チョック。これこそが知恵の伝道。翼よ聖なる来光振動の権限。従軍チョック。無我の境地。従軍律令。張り込みなさい。私のお家にいら。知恵浄土を開放し有限なるライトチョック律令。